Guys, I'm back on set now with Rajeev Varma. He's just had me cracking up. He's an international actor.
I didn't do anything. I just stepped onto the sofa and she started laughing.
Right here in Queens, New York. So, Rajeev, you just had some West Indian food. What did you think about it?
I can't feel my lips.
So Tony, was it Tony that tricked you? Who
Roti
tricked you?
Actually.
Oh, Roti, our disco dancer
Roti was like
from
over
Flattire.
there. Yeah, the disco dancer?
Yeah, yeah.
Is he a disco dancer?
You gotta see him do you know the movie,
yeah.
I Am a Disco
Absolutely, with
Dancer?
Mithun Chakrabarti. I love Mithun Chakrabarti. He's awesome.
You gotta see him do that.
Well, you know, Roti just said to me, you know, like I was having some of this West Indian Chinese food, right? And there was some hot sauce there, and I said, oh, is it that hot? And he goes, no, it's not that hot. It's very mild. And I put it on, and I put 2 spoons, and he's like...
And you were sweating.
And I'm like sweating. I'm like, oh my God, I can't feel my lips. I can't feel my tongue. I'm going, can there please be some raita anywhere? There's no raita. Yeah.
Yeah, West Indians don't do the raita.
No, you guys don't muck around. You're
no,
like,
not at all.
I'm going to burn my mouth off now.
Guys, are you seeing what you're in store for? Coming on May 19th and May 20th. So, Raj, tell me a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself?
Yeah.
I'm a man.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, you know, I'm an actor.
Right.
I'm from far away. I'm a Pacific Islander. I grew up on an island, New Zealand, on the edge of the world.
So you were born in New Zealand. Okay.
Yep.
Very different because most of the Indians that I meet, they're like born in India.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there aren't that many of us. There's about 100,000 Indians or South Asians. And that's an interesting thing.
That's a large population, though.
Like here in America, right? Like we're not called Indians, right? We're called South Asians, right? Like
right.
People call us South. Yeah. That's weird. Because in New Zealand, if anybody's like an Asian, they're like a Chinese person, like, you know.
Yeah, well,
like that dude. There's that guy there.
Tony.
There's like one Chinese guy in the studio right now. Everybody else is. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So tell me, what was it like growing up in New Zealand and being Indian?
Really like, like being a bit of an anomaly, really, when I was like a child, like the odd one out, really. So I kind of like spent most of my childhood in denial of being Indian because I was surrounded by white people.
So
did
you think you were white?
I thought I was white.
Because I mean, you're not really
I know,
dark at all.
I know. I'm fair and lovely.
Fair and lovely.
But no, I'm not white. No, I'm not white.
Okay.
There's more to me than that. No, I kind of like, when I was in my late teenage years, I started doing acting. And I thought I could do any role, you know, like I could just do any role because I just regarded myself as just another person kind of thing. But then the industry, when I'd go for castings, was like a slap in my face. You know, you suffer a lot when you're an actor. Like, you know, every kind of role I went for was this kind of stereotypical South Asian or Indian role, right?
Like a cab driver, terrorist.
Terrorist came later.
Okay.
In the 90s, there was not that much terrorist work.
Okay.
But after, in the 2000s, there was more. But, you know, like, yeah, taxi driver, corner shop owner,
right.
Doctor, you know, the occasional, like, office worker kind of thing. And so I realized that, you know, like I wasn't being seen for various roles because of my ethnicity or the way that people perceive me. So I then, instead of my ethnicity being something that I wanted to hide, I kind of embraced it. Like in the late 1990s, I kind of really embraced it and really, you know, was proud of who I was as a South Asian, as an Indian. And so then I started to create work that was from my own point of origin. So I wanted to tell stories about like what I knew. Like, instead of aspiring to be something which I wasn't, but I always idealized because, you know, I went to drama school and there was this pedestal, you know, like this kind of actor that you want to be, like a Shakespearean trained actor, you know, like Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen. Instead of looking at that all the time, I started to turn to the things which I knew. So I started to write stories about my family and my upbringing and all that stuff. And then I met this guy who was an Indian comedian who was Gujarati.
Okay.
And he wanted me to direct him in a one-man show. And it was a comedy show. So I directed him in this show and we called it Deranged Marriage. And the thing just took off. Like at that time in like 2000 in New Zealand, nobody was doing South Asian comedy that way. So hordes of people, like all of these South Asians that were in Auckland, just poured out to this show. And we just did it in like a small space. 60 people could sit down there. You know, we worked on it for like 6 weeks and we just mucked around and it just exploded. And so since then, it just never stopped for me. Like me and Tarun kept working. We started working in television. We started doing films. We made a second show. We toured our shows all over the world. South Africa, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, the Opera House.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it just kind of happened, you know. And then I came here to America, and I've been doing the show here. So there was a point was that, yeah, when I started to create work from my own identity, everything started happening. Like there was so much interest, and I started to feel quite relevant as an artist. Like I had something that I was talking about which resonated with people.
Amazing. Tell me about some of your acting, like in movies and shows. I mean, I know you were Krishna in
I was
Xena,
Krishna
right?
in Xena, yes, I was. Yeah, that was in Xena the Warrior Princess, and I had a scene with Lucy Lawless, and I was completely painted blue to look like, you know, like the romantic Krishna, the way he's portrayed, and it was amazing. They made a statue out of me, and they made a face mold of me, and they put my face on the statue of Krishna that they made. It was insane. I walked in on set, and I was in all my costume and everything, and I walk in and it was a temple, and I was the god. Like, it was a temple of me. Like, I was my temple. It was bizarre. It was awesome.
What other roles did you play, like in any movies or other series?
Sure. I did a series called Young Hercules, which was about like the childhood exploits of Hercules, and Ryan Gosling was young Hercules. So that was a bit of a larger role. I had like 3 weeks on that, and got to work with him, which was awesome. But that was a long time ago. Like, he was very young, so it was before he became like what he is now. But he was amazing. It was fun to work with him. I did a movie called The Price of Milk, which was in New Zealand with I had a scene with Carlo Barn, who's in Star Trek now. He plays the new McCoy.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, New Zealand actors, man. They're out there doing it. And what else have I done? I did this show called Cleopatra 2525, which was a science fiction show.
Yes.
And that thing that
I've
ran...
heard of it.
You've heard of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It ran here. Yeah, and then most of the other stuff I've done has been in New Zealand. Like, it's been like TV shows, like lots of like serials in New Zealand. Shortland Street, which was a big one. So like a hospital drama. Yeah. There was also a movie which I did where I played a Sikh taxi driver. And that was really...
I couldn't really imagine you playing that role.
Right. No. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, like for that role, I grew a beard, and you know, I spent like about 6 months growing this beard for this role.
Oh, you actually grew a real beard?
I grew this real
look at you
beard.
Getting into character.
Yeah, and I like went to the Gurudwara, and I, you know, really got into it.
Prayed and everything.
Yeah, I really got right into it. And that was a really intense role, and it was about this taxi driver who was not accepted by his family. He wasn't loved by his wife. He was driving his cab at night. It was driving him a bit insane. He started doing some questionable things, and that was an amazing experience to like just go into the role like that. Like, yeah, definitely one night was a big role for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Raj, now you're coming into the West Indian market.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's not the arranged marriage.
No,
right?
it's not the arranged marriage. It's deranged marriage.
Deranged marriage.
Deranged marriage. This show is all about a young Indian boy named Sanjay who spends his life avoiding the issue of an arranged marriage. And, you know, it's like...
I'm sure a lot of our viewers can relate to that.
Yeah. And, you know, that subject matter has been really mined a lot. You know, like, let's be honest, there's lots of shows and movies that have been made now about it. But when we wrote it in 2000, it was just like, you know, happening at that time, you know, like there were lots of plays like this.
Now, who wrote it?
I wrote it with my friend Tarun, and we wrote it together.
Okay.
And it's more about his life.
Raj, I heard that you play every role, is it?
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so tell me about that.
So, for instance, you know, there could be a scene between Manhur and Sanjay and his mother, right?
Okay.
And, you know, it'll be like, look, son, you really need to be getting married. I don't want to get married, Dad. Don't you want to be happy? Well, you know, you and Mum don't always look happy. Love is in everything. Look, your father is right. You should get married, and then you can do what you like. All right, Mum, I'll get married, and then I'll get divorced. Hi, better. No, you cannot get divorced. That'll bring shame upon our family.
Oh my God, it
So-
sounds like a conversation at home.
Yeah, it's like, so yeah. It's a really fun, it's really fast. The arranged
Right.
marriage is really fast. And, you know, it just rattles along. Yeah.
So how did you like even memorize this? Is it all memorized, or do you just kind of like flow? because
Repetition
you're
is
an
the key to
actor?
success, you know,
Okay.
it's just like a dance routine.
Over and over
It's just
and
like
over.
somebody learns a Bharatanatyam routine, you know, you just know all your steps and your moves. And this is like a physical, deranged marriage is like, there's no room for me to screw up much. Like, there's no safety net. If you're in a show with another actor, you might forget your line, the other actor can cover you. But in
Right.
this show, if I forget my lines, there's just nobody out there. Like, I'm alone on that stage, so I don't forget my lines. I just, boom, boom, I've just done it, and yeah.
Tell me, Raj, why should Caribbean people come out to see this show?
Well, I mean, from what I can gather, you know, like the family dynamics and stuff in Caribbean families, I think that what you might see in deranged marriage will, you know, it'll be recognizable. And definitely, like, a lot of the humor is you know, it's fast and it's got a little bit of an edge to it, you know. So it's a nice riotous night out, you know. It's a nice night. It's a good show to start a good night out, you know. It's definitely a comedy for South Asians or anybody who understands any aspect of South Asian culture.
So, Raj, May 19th and May 20th
Yep, that's right.
at Club Moka.
Yep.
So Saturday the show is at
7
7
p.m.
o'clock. Okay.
And Sunday at 5 p.m.
5 o'clock. Now, where can we get tickets?
Okay, so you can go to Flattire Productions on Facebook, or you can go to thoseindianguys.com,
Okay.
which has got all of the information listed there, or you can go to Desi Club to get tickets, and tickets are $20 at the door or $15 pre-sale. And when you come to the show, you can use your ticket stub and go to the Moka Club afterwards. You're going to get in with your stub. So
there'll be like an after party?
there'll be like an after party.
Are you going to be there?
I'm going to be there.
Okay. So you're going to jam to some Caribbean music?
I'm going to jam to Caribbean music. I'm going to eat Caribbean food. I'm going to eat lots of yogurt with that food.
You're going to bring
So-
the yogurt because we don't do yogurt.
You don't do yogurt in the
No.
Caribbean?
But you can have
Okay.
a drink
Okay, I'll
with
have
the food.
Yeah, but not a soda because that might make my lips burn after the food, which
Okay.
is what just happened now, and that's not cool.
Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna rock. We're gonna partay with a capital P.
Okay. So we're going to laugh. We're going to
Yeah,
party.
I hope so.
We're going to have a great time.
I guess so.
Yeah, May 19th, May 20th. Well, I'm going to be there.
Okay, great.
The entire cast of Let's Talk with Lakshmee is going to be there.
That's great.
I really cannot wait to see this.
I can't wait to see it either.
I've wanted to see you for years now.
Oh,
I think
have
it's been
you?
like 2 or 3 years. I heard about your show.
That's awesome.
I was disappointed I couldn't make it. And now you're actually coming in my neighborhood. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, man.
Guys, May 19th, May 20th, Club Moka. And the address is right here. So make sure you come out. Go to daisyclub.com or flattireproductions.com. You can check it out on Facebook. Well, Raj, thank you so much for coming down
I
to
get
Let's
to
Talk with
shake.
Lakshmee.
What about a hug?